quick first glance of the great country of India, many people might not want to live there. India has many viewable on the outside problems, but as young kids are always told, it's what's on the inside that counts. The Indian culture is very interesting. Today I'm going to tell you about India's traditions, religious influence, and food spices. This tradition is not just about sitting on the floor and eating. It is regarding sitting in the Sukhasana position and then eating. Sukhasana is the position we normally use for yoga asanas. Therefore, learning the way they eat and doing things is important because you can learn someone else's beliefs and cultures. I have done a lot of research on Indian food and their traditions. It is very interesting how they cook and believe in things. The Republic of India is also rather interesting in terms of its geography, government, structure, political parties, and social stratification. First, I will be discussing the traditions of Indian food. Second, I will be discussing the importance of Indian food spices. And lastly, I will be discussing religious influence and cooking methods of Indian food. The traditions of Indian food are essential to the festivals in India. A very important Tamilian festival in India is known as Pongal, which means boiling over. And here's a picture of Pongal. It is said that in India, a festival is celebrated every day of the year. Festivals serve to unite people from different backgrounds in celebration and understanding. The majority of festivals observed in India are associated with particular cuisines. Traditional recipes handed down over the years are enjoyed all over the country. Pongal is 4 days. Each day has a different significance. Thai Pongal, or January 14th, is a public holiday. Pongal is freshly harvested rice with moong dal boiled to a consistency of porridge. A reliance on vegetarian foods characterizes Indian cuisines. Both Hinduism and Islam, the two dominant religions in India, exhort followers to refrain from eating beef and pork, respectively. Over Indian cuisine developed creative use for grains, vegetables, and legumes instead of animal foods. However, milk, cheese, and butter appear in some regional Indian. The basic of Indian cuisine include rice, especially the fragrant basmati variety, and legumes such as lentils, split peas, chickpeas, and beans. Exotic spices from the sensory identity of Indian cuisines, perhaps more than any other world food tradition. Different regions of India put their bold stamps on the Indian culinary palate. Eating as an elaborate ritual in certain traditions create our culture identity. The tradition has its aguvity. Eating as an elaborate ritual in certain traditions create our culture identity. Eating is supposed to be a sensory experience, and eating with your hands evokes and passionate. The significance of spices in Indian food are very important to the people of India. Spices are known as one of the most remarkable ingredients of the Indian food. Without the spices, the exotic flavors of the Indian food don't come out. Now that I have discussed the significance of Indian spices, I will discuss the religious influence of Indian food and cooking methods. Indian food is ancient, rich, and diverse in its culinary customs, ethnic influence, and flavors. Their cooks prepared the food with sophisticated cooking methods, aromatic spices, and other expensive ingredients. Today, I have first discussed the traditions of Indian food. Secondly, I discussed the importance of Indian food spices. Lastly, I discussed the religious influence and cooking methods of Indian food. In conclusion, I've talked to you today about India's very interesting culture. India has an interesting education system, government, and foods. Remember, don't simply view India based upon its many problems. Instead, think about this wonderful culture has to offer.